don't know how to say cinco.
Yeah.
Cinco.
Numero cinco. If you're Spanish
Or in a boat.
or Mexican.
Yeah. if you, I feel like you were trying to say bilingual and then lost it.
Well, I was like, that's just one
If you're
language, so
Spanish.
yeah,
Yeah.
basically it. Just if you're Spanish or
Thank
Mexican.
you.
Chuck, do you speak Spanish
Yeah,
or
because there's a
Mexican?
huge disparity between the two.
Do you speak They both speak Mexican.
Pretty much. That just makes sense.
So
I didn't realize Mexico invaded Spain.
you want Mexico to invade Spain?
I said I didn't realize they made them speak Mexican.
Oh, that was the War of 1986. Lots of casualties, but at the end of the day,
that's right.
at the end of the day, they got them all speaking Mexican.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Great food during that war.
Yeah.
I'm drinking Mexican.
Yeah, give it up
There
for
you go.
look at multiple Modelos. I'm very excited.
We're getting
And,
invaded. We're getting invaded by them now.
And speaking of beer, we are very fortunate to have a guest with us today. This is Mr. Christopher Weck of Carton Brewing in the Atlantic Highlands here in New Jersey. We're very excited to have him on the program. Chris, good to have you. Why don't you say hi to the folks and tell them a little something about yourself?
Yeah. I mean, Henry really nailed my name, even though I've been called Christopher since my grandparents all passed away.
I had to look up what your first name was. I don't think I've called you Chris since the day I met you, so it's okay.
But yeah, like you said, worked for the brewery. I've known Henry since seventh grade, I think it was.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Mike sometime during high school.
Absolutely.
Can't nail that down to an exact date, but yeah.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Yeah, definitely a long time.
So we have you live at the brewery currently, right? You're
Yep.
on location at Carton Brewing, right?
Yep.
And you're
long from over.
beautiful.
Do I see Tito's in the background?
It was a box.
It's just a box.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Even though it is a brewery, plenty of liquor that
All right.
We don't. I mean, I don't even have to go far. I can show you. I got one of these.
Whoa, wow! There's a lot of things going on over there.
I got some of this.
Yeah, that was always one of my favorite parts of coming down to the brewery to visit, and I'd walk in and see the 90 people that I've known forever, and Augie would always be like, "Oh, it's you guys. Well, I better go get some of my bottles." Maybe just sit there and just drink insane bottles for like 3.5 hours and be like, "Oh Jesus, where were we supposed to go? I think we're supposed to go to a show, but here we are."
So, Chris, you're actually quarantined in Carton Brewery, which, if anybody that's listening doesn't know, Carton is the premier, the best of the best craft brewery in New Jersey. And so you're quarantined in the brewery?
I mean, that's a self-quarantine.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to choose a place to hold up, you can't really find a better one.
Yeah.
But
Besides an
fat kid
ammunition depot.
Yeah, it's like a fat kid being in Willy Wonka's factory. That's amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Now it's a fat kid in the brewery.
Oh, dude.
But yeah, no, it was, like I said, it was a choice I made. I go home a couple nights a week, but for the most part, I stay down here. Just avoid going in and out of the house, exposing the wife and kids to whatever the hell I could be bringing back into the house with me. And not to mention, I got a 60-mile commute each direction. So if I could save 120 miles a day on my car, it helps to just stay down here.
How are you guys operating right now in this crazy times?
I mean, we've had to pivot significantly. We were a pretty draft. Actually, we're pretty equal between draft and cans. And we're exclusively cans. So there's nowhere to offload draft. With the bars and restaurants being the situation they're in, cans are the only vehicle we can get beer into people's hands. So we're lucky in that we have our own canning line. We have a ton of supplies stockpiled, so we were able to make that transition pretty easily. But I mean, our production is definitely scaled back significantly.
Oh, it has. It has.
Oh yeah. We're probably about 50% production.
Really?
Wow.
But
That's the false numbers that people don't understand because they see all this shit in the news that sales are up in the alcohol business, beer,
right,
liquor, blah blah blah. All this stuff. They keep pushing the narrative of everyone's getting delivery, take home. I get shit all the time. Why are we closed? And something I don't think I've talked on the podcast at all, but since you're on and you're in my industry as well, the restaurant, the club has to be closed, but the restaurant is closed for takeout for many reasons. One, it's bullshit. I at least the restaurant that I run, we cannot ever make our profits. But more important than fucking couple $100 or whatever it is, I rely on people that don't have cars that take mass transportation. I have people that are over 60 years old that work for me. I am not, I have regulars that don't get that. Like they're going to come all the time. I'm not going to get someone sick in this atmosphere, and I'm not going to make the money.
Right.
But there's a lot of news out there. It's not a conspiracy, I don't think, guys. But there's a lot of shit on TV. Maybe it's just to make people think that it is going out there. It's bullshit. I know of even pizzerias that do very well just on delivery that are starting to close shop.
Yeah.
So when we're limited to our business, I would think, honestly, man, it's a shock to me that you're saying this because I thought, from what I'm seeing on TV and on the news or whatever I'm reading, I thought you're going to tell me how you're crushing it.
No. I mean, in the first week, maybe two, there was definitely I'm going to say a stockpiling mentality where we were getting liquor stores that were taking 2 and 3 deliveries a week. Where in the past we'd go to them every other week.
Yes.
But that's since slowed down. I think it's the same thing where hopefully in the next week we'll start seeing toilet paper back on the shelves too, where people stockpiled what they needed to survive for the next 3 months, and then now they're going to go back to some more regular buying habits. So yeah, I will say the first 2 weeks of this we were at production. Yeah, we were at the same level of production we were, just instead of splitting things between kegs and cans, they were all going in the cans, which, like I said, was a shift for us, but not nearly as drastic as somebody that might be relying on a mobile canning company, or, I mean, some of these breweries that are draft only that they're shut down with no end in sight.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of all kinds of businesses, and especially in hospitality, that are not going to, including draft beer and smaller restaurants, that are not going to come out of this.
No.
Which is horrible. But it's nuts. You said you guys are stockpiled on most of your shit, so you could keep brewing.
Yeah. I mean, our suppliers are actually still able to get us what we need.
That's what I'm going to ask you. All right.
Yeah. So grain, raw ingredient stuff is no problem. We're starting to see a backlog on orders for like hard goods, like empty cans, things like that. Usually you have like a 4-week lead time to get something like that made. They're already talking 8 weeks and potentially 12. So yeah, and it's the same mentality where people start hearing that as soon as breweries hear 8 weeks, everybody that might not need something for 20 weeks is putting an order in, and then it goes from 8 to actually 20 in a matter of a week, in a week or so. So it's a lot of the,
wow.
I don't want to call it fear mongering or anything like that, but it's like I said, you put that idea in somebody's head, and that things that they might not be able to get something in the somewhat near future, and they're going to buy as much of it as they can as quickly as possible.
I think it's just human nature, right?
Yeah,
it's human nature. We all do it, even if you're not supposed to. I don't know if you know the format of the show, but I'm I hate the fucking word conspiracy. I'm the truth guy, whatever you want to call it. Do you see supply chains? Do you see that it's going to start coming there? Or you think we're going to be okay? You think things are going to keep coming and we have nothing to worry about with supply chains?
No, honestly, I mean, the fact that they deemed manufacturing essential in pretty much every state that I've seen, I don't think, and then everybody downstream from that is going to fall into that same category. I've yet to have a single distributor tell me they're not operating fully right now. If anything, I'm kind of hoping that I start seeing some price reductions on things, especially like freight, considering where gas is right now. Like I don't want to sound like I'm profiteering off this horrible thing that's happening.
Yeah. But you're right. You're right.
But at the same time, like I feel like this actually may help in the in some terms. At least it's not. I'll never say this is a good thing, but like I said, with something like fuel, if all of a sudden I get my freight delivery charges cut in half, it would help out some of the things that are that half of my revenue stream that's gone with the restaurants and bars being closed. Maybe I can save some money on shipping and try to balance that out a little bit, or if some of these distributors actually have surplus in their warehouse and start reducing some of their prices to move inventory, just move out higher volumes, even though their profits might not be as high. Like we might see some things that are somewhat beneficial for the industry and other industries as well. But like I said, it's to be seen, and I'm not hoping anything like that. I want everyone to come out of this, just as solid as they went into it. But like I said, I'm trying to look for silver linings where I can.
Yeah, that's true.
I personally, I came up with a half cock theory about this the other day, and it's like I think that when everything's all said and done, that there will be this shift in focus, even more so than has been over the past few years, of local business. You know what I mean? I think that people are really, really going to go out and try to support the local guys that are, they see it's like, man, I went to that deli my entire life, and they're gonna fucking close or whatever have you. And I think there's going to be a huge shift in that, and me, I could go to fucking Walmart and save myself $3, but you know what, that hardware store down the street, those guys are fucking, they've been through the ringer, and maybe I should just go there and give them my business. I just, again, just a theory, but there's been that, and especially, Chuck, Chris, with the shift from, big beer, to the craft industry. You and I have been, we've been at it for a long time, and just to see where it was back when, we saw Beer Wars in the movie theater, and to see the infinitesimal stages of when people really get, starting to understand, the little guy and what people are trying to do out there, and to see where it is now. I just think that there's going to be that reshift in focus of you know what, man, I can save money by going to this gigantic fucking store, or I can go to these people down the street from me that are doing things the right way, and they're breaking their ass to bring something amazing to the community. And this is a guy that I grew up with, or whatever have you. It, like you say, with the silver lining thing, I think that if there is a thing that could come out of this that is beneficial, that maybe people will refocus and, understand what their neighbors are trying to do for them,
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm hoping that's where the direction it goes. That people are supporting the struggling companies. That this doesn't go on long enough that only the big ones that were too big to fail are surviving, and throwing everyone else, what they're going to consider a lifeline, but are just buyouts. I actually, Hannah, we were talking about it last night, but when I picture the possibility, a potential for how we come out of this, I go to Demolition Man, and the one part of the one big takeaway from that movie. I mean, there's a million takeaway from that movie, don't get me wrong, but the one that every restaurant was just called Taco Bell, because Taco Bell just absorbed every restaurant.
Yeah, dude, that's my biggest fear, man. That's my biggest fear.
Yeah, Amazon is just going to own everything.
Amazon and Target, man. Clint, before I go on a ramble, were you going to say something? Because you looked like that I was... I saw you.
I was just going to say that prices adjust the other way for shipping and stuff like that for fuel very slowly. But they increase with the increase instantly. They're like, guess what? Gas is $50 a barrel now. Well, guess there's all those tanks are still filled with last week's gas. It didn't need to go up immediately as soon as that barrel did. And then the barrels come down. It takes a month for it to adjust the other way. So,
oil pricing is one of the funniest fucking things you could ever have. It's like based on speculation, which is how do you put that out in the market for people? Just be like, I don't know, $4 sound about right? Like, yeah, cool. What the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Like, doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, they're just making their own profit margins as they go. They're like,
which is crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Be like, Chuck, you're like, oh yeah, 4-pack this week is $37.
We're having an issue getting hops. It's $40 for this.
Shipment got delayed a couple days, so it's actually we're really low on supply right now. So sorry, you guys got to suck it up and pay pay the extra nut.
$40 for a 4-pack today.
Suck it up.
Yeah. It's we're working on a sliding scale here. I can't guarantee anything.
Dude, it's crazy. I don't know. My biggest fear is well, you guys know my biggest fear.
Your biggest fears are ever expanding every single day. It's hard to keep up.
Yeah. But
they're having
my
a
biggest
race.
fear is that we're all gonna get fucking. But before I say this, I love my life. I do not want to get. I never want to kill myself. I love my family. My biggest fear is that they're gonna fucking when the vaccine comes out, it's gonna have a microchip in it, and in that microchip, the NWO starts the New World Order, and with the New World Order, maybe it's not as bad as I think, but it's like Amazon, Taco Bell, or whatever the fuck, McDonald's. There's like a few things. We go wait in line to get our fucking government checks, and we're part of this fucking system.
What if they start sending ads to your chip? Like all of a sudden you're just like, well, why do I want to order fucking some blah 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 from Amazon all of a sudden?
Oh,
and they just sent you a signal.
No, I'm gonna tell you guys what's gonna really happen. Listen, I hope none of this happens. I hope it's all fucking just a virus and it goes away, and I get to pour beer at my place and have comedy shows. But what I think really is gonna happen, I've been talking to a lot of my fucking crazy, other fucking crazy friends that I'm not gonna name drop, but in the industry of crazy or conspiracy, fucking social credit, man. Social credit is coming. It's coming, and that's not gonna be good because I talk shit. You talk shit, Henry. Well, Clint, you're fucked. Chuck might be you talk about fingers in his asshole and
for a long time too. So that's
Chuck is one
not
of
a
that's
recent
the one thing I
development.
will say. Chuck is one of the nicest human beings on the planet. Hold me like a millionaire. I feel like he sweats when he eats sandwiches, and I feel like that sweat that comes off his head is actually empathy that's going out into the ether so that other people can actually fucking be cool. I swear, I'm telling you. That's how nice of a human being
I sweat a lot, Henry. What do you think that is?
I'm sorry?
I sweat a lot. What do you think that is?
That is pure white hatred. That is like when you're sweating, it's like, oh God, there's so many people of color around, and I hate it.
That sounds like a woke racist, right? He was very political about his slurs. So many people of color that I really dislike strongly.
He's trying to get that good social credit, bro.
Yeah.
Dude, my social credit's gonna be so bad. I'm gonna be a hobo getting on the back of fucking trains trying to get to work. They're not gonna let me on fucking trains.
Bro,
if I don't end up in fucking Camp FEMA, I'm gonna be fucking.
Bro, you're like everyone's gonna have like an ID badge. Your shit's gonna say like transient 29. Like that's gonna be you. That's you.
If I don't make it, if I don't make it into FEMA camp, that's what me. I won't be getting on trains, nothing. I'll be walking. I'll be a hobo. No
trains. You can't trust the train process. And if anyone's gonna know that for certain, it's this fucking guy right here. Mm-hmm. We've talked about some very you have some interesting interesting stories, life lessons that were taught to you by your German grandparents. That is that's.
So they were on the winning. They were on the driving side even, and they still taught you lessons.
There were a lot of tracks leading back to one place.
Oh boy.
Oh my God. All right. So we talked about this last night before Mike starts picking your brain apart about conspiracy theories and lizard people living 6 feet under the earth. I wanted you to tell one story while you were here, and we, if you have to change the names, feel free. But it's a good friend of ours.
Yeah.
And a little trip, and I'll let you take it from here because I think this is a great story, and I wanted to share it with our friends and listeners.
All right. So yeah, it all started with a friend of mine from college's bachelor party. We took him up to Montreal, and there was 4 of us made the road trip up together, and then a 5th person flew up and met us up there. We started out the night, just the 4 of us were there. The flyer hadn't joined the group yet. And we started out at Club Super Sex in Montreal, which, the name says it all. Yeah. it definitely lived up to it. But actually, I should preface, before we even got there, we pre-gamed a little bit with Jack Daniels, and this was back in my mid-20s when Jack Daniels was... my life was essentially the blood in my veins was just Jack Daniels. And I had to pull the stopper at that little flow regulator that is in the bottle because it actually wasn't pouring fast enough for me. So yeah, just to show where my mindset was at. So needless to say, I gave a hefty drink to one of the guys that was on the trip, and we're out at the club later that night, and he's not handling it well at all, and goes to leave. And I was like, all right, listen, there's our key card, has a map right in the back. Just show this to the cab driver. He'll get you back to the hotel. No problem. So we completely forget about it. We enjoy everything. 10 minutes after he leaves, not even 5 minutes after he leaves, the guy who flew in shows up. I don't even know how they didn't pass each other, at the doorway, but whatever. They never actually see each other. At least 3 or 4 more hours go by just because he showed up. So all of a sudden, Second Life got breathed into the party, and we're going hard. Get back to the hotel room probably sometime around 4 o'clock in the morning, and remember that we have a friend who's passed out in there. So obviously, we're going to beat the shit out of him when we get in there. And so it wasn't even a standard hotel room. It was like an apartment we rented. It was 2 or 3 bedrooms and all. So we go in, just assume he's in the first bedroom, bust in the door, not in there. Like, all right, go to the next door. Kick it in, just fist clenched, and not there. So we're like, now we're all geared up. 2 doors down, we know he's in the 3rd one. Like, there's no doubt about it.
Don't tell me what I think is going to happen.
We kick the door in, rush in, just start beating the shit out of the bed. There's nobody in it. And then we realize 4 hours has gone by, and we have no idea where he is. And so we go out.
I thought you were going to say you were in the neighbor's house. But okay.
Oh, no. So,
I was waiting for an old lady. I was waiting for a bucket. I was like, oh, fuck.
Like, we beat the shit out of this whole thing.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no.
I feel like the story would have been actually better if that had happened. I probably could have talked my way out of that one.
Fuck.
But yeah, so we now realize that we've lost a friend 4 hours ago and are only realizing it now. So we go out, start walking around the place, see if we can find him laying in a bush someplace. But it's Montreal. It's like sleeting or hailing.
That place is always fucking.
It was not pleasant outside at all. So we go inside. We start everything we can do. We start calling police stations, hospitals. We call the police station. We're like, you have our friend. Give him his name. They're like, why would we have your friend? We're like, no reason. Never mind. Hang up. And so they'll say it's going on 6 o'clock in the morning. Sun starts to come up, and we're just like, fucking, we don't even know what to do anymore. People start, passing out one by one. The next morning, the bachelor, his cell phone is ringing, and it's the house line of the kid who's missing. And we're just like, oh shit, it's his wife. Like nobody answered. Like it's his wife. We don't know what the fuck to tell her. So we legitimately put his phone in the freezer just so we wouldn't have to listen to it ring. Like
you didn't want to be tracked. You thought you were
yeah. Well, there was that too. I was like, we have to go off the grid now. I can't let anybody know my last location. So, yeah, it's ringing from the house line a bunch of times. We're freaking out, like don't know what to do. Finally, his phone rings from his fiance. And so he's like, all right, everyone just be cool. I'm going to play this off like nothing's wrong. Don't worry about it. So he picks up the phone. He's like, oh, hey, babe, what's going on? And she's like, what happened last night? And immediately this kid breaks down crying. I mean, this kid is missing. They've been best friends since kindergarten. Like, he's the best man of his wedding. Like, it's like
this is literally like a movie.
Yeah, 100%. And this was actually also like 6 months before The Hangover came out.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's like, what happened? He busts out. He's like, Mike's dead. We don't know what to do. Like, and all we hear, so we don't hear her side of the conversation. Like, we only hear what he's saying. And all of a sudden we just hear him go, Mike's home? And so we're just like, wait, what the fuck? Mike's home? And so he gets the full rundown and then proceeds to tell us that Mike's wife found him in the garage the next morning, like bawling his eyes out because he hopped into a cab in Montreal and took a cab from there to New Jersey.
Why?
Because he, instead of giving the key card, which was our map to the hotel, he gave his driver's license. Was like, just take me here, and then passed out in the back of the cab. Who proceeded to somehow get him across the border into the U.S. Dude, like his passport was in the glove box of my Jeep. Like he had no idea. He had a driver's license, but he had no passport and was drunk and made it from Montreal to New Jersey in the back of a cab.
How much did that ride cost him?
$900.
Yeah, and they had to stop in like Vermont for gas or like New Hampshire. Or some shit
apparently he bought the cab driver gas someplace, which was also that. We were able to trace back the cabbie's route too. Like he totally knew not to take 15 down to 87 and go through like that major crossing. He like took some side road and crossed in Vermont somewhere instead of coming down through New York. Like this guy knew how to get into the country illegally.
Yeah. So this cab driver was totally used to just bringing people into the U.S. also.
Yeah. Knew what road to take that wouldn't get checked.
North Mexicans.
Dude,
if
I'm spending a fucking G, fucking say fuck you guys, I'm fucking having way more fun in fucking Montreal. I'm fucking going home.
Yeah, but yeah, it was tough. I mean, to this day, he still never lived it down, and we bring it up jokingly. But I mean, I even offered. I was like, I'll meet you at the border. If you want me to come down, drive to like Plattsburgh. If you want to take a bus up, I'll bring your passport down. I'll pick you up in Plattsburgh and get you back into the country. So, I mean, it's honestly not that bad of a drive. Yeah, it's Montreal. No. The border is only an hour or so. But yeah, I don't think his wife was letting him leave the house after that.
Henry, do you remember when we went to a rave in Canada on a bus? It took like 3 days. And
oh my God!
They left. Yo, check this out, Clint. It took 3 days to get to Ontario, Canada. It was. I don't know if I want to talk about the bus ride right now, but it was such debauchery. This is in the 90s. We're on our way to a rave. It was such debauchery that the cab driver literally goes, PCP is illegal, and if you continue to smoke it on my bus, I will take you to the nearest police station. That's how crazy it was. So we get So we get to the fucking border. And
be cool.
They left the kid there. He goes, fuck this. They just left some kid. They took his bags, threw it out, and said, fuck this. We don't want you coming. Like, he was so fucked up. They're like, no, we're leaving him. They just left him at the fucking border. And the bus driver's like, I'm not taking you any further. Took his bag, threw it out, fucking kicked him. Boom, fuck him. Just left him.
Bro, we left the early.
This is pre-cell phone. This is pre-cell phone days.
That was fucking pre-everything.
Could you imagine that motherfucker? He had a backpack and got thrown. I'm like, I still think about like what happened to that kid.
He found his way.
And not for nothing, but he had like a gallon of dust on him.
No, the kid was literally he was like the drug dealer. The best part was is there was so much drugs that were hitting people's bags that later on we're finding shit. Because what he was doing is every time there was a rest stop, he was like, oh, let me go. And he would look and he would just stash shit in people's fucking bags thinking he was going to get into this rave. And people were smoking fucking like PCP in this bus to the point where it was fogging up the fucking bus. And then finally, bro, it was crazy. It was out of control.
Do you guys know what the gathering of the Juggalos is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what it is.
I've heard of that.
It's the Insane Clown Posse's festival.
Yeah.
And
Well, you tell me you've been there.
We got hired to ride it.
Yes.
So I was there the whole
Let
week.
me hear about it.
Oh, dude.
my God.
It was a fucking mess. First off, if you're driving in there with a hatchet man on the back of your car, you're getting pulled over and searched, FYI. All the smart drug dealers, because once you got in there, it was just their security. There was no cops allowed in on the premises. So people must have driven in early and stashed a bunch of drugs.
They do. That's what they
there
do
was
at a
tons
festival.
of drugs.
I don't know this. I don't know.
Well.
But what I've been told is what they do is you go there early and you dig holes on the campsites, and that's how you get the drugs in.
I can tell you when
Go
we
ahead.
were driving in, we were in a big ramp and we didn't have any hatchet men on our truck, so nobody paid attention to us. But every other car with a hatchet man was on the side of the road as we pulled in. So what brought up this story to me was the bus deal. So we're there like setting up, and this guy shows up first night, and he's just like, yo, this is the sickest event of the year. Yeah, I was waiting for this all year. And we're like, all right, cool. He's like, I brought a bus. We're in southern Illinois, and the very bottom. And he's like, I just rode a bus from Colorado. It took him like a week or something to get to this fucking thing. Right? So we see him that night and he's just like, yeah, ready to go party. And then we wake up in the morning, or we were at a hotel, so we just drove back in and set up to practice.
You couldn't be with
or
the
something.
peasants.
Oh,
Well, we didn't have the
He's like, well,
promoter.
we weren't sleeping with the scumbag.
The Insane Clown Posse or whoever the fuck booked us just got us a hotel. So if they had gotten us a camper, I would have gladly stayed on site, 100%. So we show up in the morning, and this dude is laying like half on these girls' tent, like from the waist up. Like he tried to sit down and like lean against it, and he's just like half of his body and is on these girls' tent, and he's foaming at the mouth. So I'm like, go over and I get the EMTs. I'm like, yo, this guy's like laying on the ground, like kind of convulsing, foaming. And they just come over and they get him up and they're like, yo, do you want help? And he's like, no. And they just go and walk away.
Give me that Flago, whatever the fuck they call it.
Fago. So then he disappears for like 3 days. I'm like, dude, I think that guy died. Like, I'm pretty sure he's dead. And then all of a sudden on the 4th day, fucker just shows up and he's like, yo. I'm like, yo, we thought you died. He goes, I had a rough day or two.
Wow, that brings up another story. I gotta take a break, but that brings up another story I'm gonna tell you guys that hits very close to home.
I'll tell you this one then, also at the Insane Clown Posse. I knew that the Insane Clown Posse was going to suck, so I bought us mushrooms in preparation for said event. And
quick spoiler alert: the Insane Clown Posse really does suck.
Really sucks. Although there was some bright spots, but probably mainly because I was on mushrooms. So I took I ate half the bag, and then I took the other half and I put it on my business partner at the time's pizza, and it was kind of dark where we were like at. So I just hand him his pizza, and he gets like halfway through it, and all of a sudden you can see him be like what? And he goes, how much did you put on here? And I said, enough. Finish your slice. So then he finished his slice, and then we're standing there. The best part of the Insane Clown Posse was that they shoot those Faygo bottles like 200 yards off their finger. Like they must drop a Mentos in it or something and like jam it on their finger, and they shake them up. And then when it's going to go, they go and throw it, and it goes like literally. So we're on the side, and the the stage is over here, and they're just shooting. They're just like rainbow of Faygo. So that was actually cool because we were tripping on mushrooms. Mike, you missed it.
I always wanted to go to one of those things.
I mean, it's a spectacle
More for research.
for sure. Oh yeah, no, it's good research.
Purposes.
Have you ever seen the really large guy that hangs out with like 3-6 Mafia or something? And I didn't realize who he was. I seen him sitting in some chair, like his belly hangs over his pants, like
is
by
he
like
dead,
a foot.
or is it?
I don't know. I don't even know his name. All I know is I seen.
Is he white?
I think so. Like a big dude.
Tattooed white dude.
I don't. He might have tattoos. I don't remember. All I know is he's got a huge belly. I don't even know what color he is. He's just.
I feel like I've seen that guy shooting machine guns. For some
probably.
reason.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, right. It's like against his belly, and he's.
So he's sitting there, and there's just some girl dancing on him, and I'm just going, "What in the fuck is going on here?" And they're like, "He's like famous," and I'm like, "Whoa."
Dude, I wasn't foaming at the mouth, but I have a very close story of that myself. I was kind of the kid. I wasn't foaming at the mouth, but I went to a festival in the middle of fucking nowhere alone. I don't know if I should list the band. I don't know if I want to give them. So there's a band that I really thought was really awesome. I went to one of their concerts, and I'm like, and I got a flyer, and they're like, tomorrow this is the first time I ever saw them. They're having their festival out in the middle of nowhere, in the mountains. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. So I went. And I didn't realize that this fucking festival was also a rave, and it was like all DJs that I fucking grew up on, knew. I was like, what the fuck? So I set my little tent up. I'm totally alone. I brought a couple of Timothy Leary books with me. No camping equipment at all, just a tent. A couple bucks or whatever, right? And I go and I'm hanging out, and everyone's so friendly, and I'm like, they're like, oh, wait till the band's over. Wait till you see what happens. And there's a fucking dance party, and I'm like fucking talking to all these fucking raver kids from Chicago, and they're giving me I'm learning about new fucking things that I didn't even know about. I'm like, wow, this is awesome. And I took it fucking really, really far. And I think it was like a 3-day festival. So I know all my neighbors. I'm fucking talking to everybody. I'm having great time. I'm sitting in my tent just reading Timothy Leary. I'm like enlightened. I'm like, this is great. The day 2, I was starting to get a little old. I'm probably like 22 at this point, 23. Like getting a little old for this shit. And it's like day 2. And I'm just fucking, like I said, trying new things, whatever. And I'm reading the book, and I don't know what something, it said something in the book, and I'm like, you know what? I've had enough. So I leave my tent, I throw my book in my book bag, get in my car, and just fucking drive home. So I end up following this band around for years. I actually end up working for this band years later. So I know everyone in this community, and kids would come up to me all the time like, yo, it's Mike from New Jersey. Yo, we were crying. We thought you were dead for sure, man. What the? So for years, people would because I became friends with everyone. I went there alone. I literally became friends with everybody around me. So I worked for this band. So it'd be like little by little, I go to a city, and people would be like, oh my God, they were like, yo, we will go by your tent. Be like, yo, he's dead, man. He's definitely dead. And I was like, I had my own little resurrection moment. It was pretty cool. It happened for about a year. I would go to a different city with this band, and a couple people would find me and be like, yo, he's not dead. Holy shit. Yo. And remember that kid that was reading a book at his campsite by himself?
That's funny. I was never really most, probably 90% of the concerts and stuff I've been to, I just happened to be riding at something, and there was music there.
That's awesome.
But I never really.
So, but what if you do that, Clint? If you do that, that means you're probably I'm not saying in a bad way, but you're probably in the middle of nowhere, right? When you're doing this.
Sometimes.
I was saying because I've never heard it. I'm saying in our area, I never heard of moto and a concert going on unless I'm just not in tune.
No, I rode at Sturgis at the Buffalo Chip for a week. I rode at Rot Rally in Texas. That's another 18 and up biker rally. Those two are super fun. I did Daytona Bike Week way back in the day.
And then there's bands and shit playing?
Yeah. Rot Rally, fucking what's the guy from Poison? Brett Michaels was there.
Well, that's not like fucking acid music.
Well,
man.
no. But Sturgis, I got to see ZZ Top.
I'll say Bon Jovi.
No. No, it's bikers. So ZZ Top, Buck Cherry, which I don't really. ZZ Top was cool.
Yeah.
We rode during Buck Cherry. That was cool. So it was like the stage, the crowd, and then there was like the tower that controlled the stage, and we were like right behind that, like to the side.
Like
so
part of the like act almost.
Well, so half of the crowd was turned around and just staring at us while they were playing. So that was pretty sick.
That's a pretty big fuck you to the band.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're not like the backdrop. You're actually all right. I got you.
Yeah, we were opposite of them. So the crowd was in between us. Yeah. But they were like, yeah, we don't care. It's cool. And I think Papa Roach was there, and I've seen Billy Idol. Like, he wasn't there. He was at Harley 100th anniversary in Milwaukee. So I've gotten to see random stuff. Quiet Riot, but that was only a couple years ago.
That was before the quarantine.
Yeah, but I mean, they were like super old, you know, by the time I saw them.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing about Henry and I. Like I told you, I met Henry at a Rage Against the Machine concert. So he jumped on top of me when they were rioting. It was Rage and Wu-Tang. And the crowd was just fucking going nuts, and Henry jumped on me. That's when I met him. And we've gone to hundreds of concerts together and shows, and then obviously we were in the business of that shit.
And he jumped on you every time.
What?
And he jumped on you every time.
No, just the time I met him, he jumped into the crowd. Yeah, he's probably but no. So we've been plus we obviously worked in that in that whole industry of the parties and the raves and whatever you want to call it. But so I've been to hundreds and hundreds of shows, festivals, to the point where honestly, like now it's like I know it's like they're from what I've been told, they're way better than they were when we used to go. I mean, they were so underground. It was so.
I went to Bonnaroo this summer.
I'm telling you about. Now I hear they're like amazing, but I'm way too old for that shit. Like in my 20s, I thought I was getting too old for it.
No, come on, let's go to Bonnaroo. My friend lives in Tennessee and works for Red Bull. We'll just go down there and hang out with them.
That was that year. I'm telling you, it was the first year of Bonnaroo because everyone's like, "Yo, you got to go to Bonnaroo after this, man." And I was like thinking about it the first night. I'm like, yeah, maybe I should go to Bonnaroo.
I should totally go to Bonnaroo.
It was the first year of Bonnaroo. Everyone's like talking about this thing that's gonna happen. I'm like, yeah, I should do that. And then fuck that. I got my fucking car at 3 a.m. Fucking left on night 3. I was notorious for doing that. I did that with Henry once. I've left my tent other places. Yeah, fuck it. Just get in my car and leave.
That's good. Like, yo, you want to get the fuck out of here? Yes, I do.
Yeah. So it kind of relates to your story, Chuck, too. Like I'm the guy where I pay for. I mean, I've paid crazy. I've Ubered some pretty crazy places, but that's like the problem with that is like I've overstayed my welcome. I'm in a city where there's like everything's shut down. The only way you're getting home is an Uber.
Right.
I've done that, but so kind of relate. But I've also been like, I've had enough of this shit. Get the fuck out of here. Fuck! I forgot what I was gonna say. I was gonna say something to Henry about some show, but I don't know, guys. What else?
Are you a big music guy, Chuck? I know you as Chuck now. Then all of a sudden, he's like,
yeah. I mean, I used to be real big into like the punk scene and stuff like that. I mean, me and Henry been I haven't been nearly as many as him and Mike have been to, but we've been to a bunch of shows together. Actually, one of the craziest stories about thinking somebody died at a show. I don't know if you. I'm sure you remember exactly what I'm about to tell.
Holy shit! I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. So Woodstock '99. We watched.
These maniacs were there.
Yeah.
For that debacle. Yeah, they were at Woodstock '99. I remember watching on TV like fucking Henry and fucking Chris are there right now.
We watched. There was a bunch of kids rocking one of those like construction trailers, like those temporary office type things, and they're rocking it, and like it's going over, and everyone gets out of the way, but one kid loses his footing, falls. This thing falls on top of him, and like we're just like everyone's like, well, that kid's dead. Like we just watched the kid get fucking like
1,000,000%.
And
was
so,
like, time to go.
Like hundreds of people had to like come and like help and like lift this thing up, and they picked it up. The fucking kid just gets up and like runs away. Yeah. And there's literally like his body is like inside, like the side of it is just like this aluminum siding that literally his imprint was just like in the fucking side of this trailer.
us 90s fucking kids that raised the kids that were teenagers in the 90s. This shit is not. Fucking
that was
Us.
adrenaline.
This coronavirus is not taking us down. We've done some fucking. We are. I know our grandparents were fucking way harder than us, but I gotta say, like our parents. I'm no knock on our parents, but the boomers or whatever, they're a little soft. Then you got us. We all did stupid shit. I mean, this fucking kid, Clint right here, might not have crazy fucking festival drug stories, but if you ever watch his fucking tapes of the jumping and shit he does, and he acts like it's nothing, like we're all sick, and we're like that kid. I've been that kid. I've never got fucking knocked over by a trailer, but I've fucking popped up and fucking said Slayer, like shit that I should have been dead. And we all have those fucking %. And we all have those fucking stories. So if this fucking this COVID's not taking us, at least our generation, hopefully it's not taking any of us out.
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I got so fucking excited because I thought you were gonna tell the story. Like it instantly popped into my head when we I don't know. I thought someone was dead when we were in fucking Albany, and we went to see. It was me and you, and it was like we're gonna go up there and fucking go to see again the band that we used to follow around, blah blah blah. So we're going up there, and like Mike's gonna meet us at the show at fucking Clifton Park, and we're gonna go and fucking party and this and that. And we have like the greatest night ever and this and that. Get into a bunch of shit at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, having a good old time. Everyone kind of nods off. Wake up at some point, and Mike's just gone forever. Like, where did he go? And it's like where is he at the ice machine? Like. No, where is this kid? Didn't talk to him for like fucking 48 straight hours. He just like got up and left in the middle of like a.
Did I?
What?
No, that was me.
Oh, that was Jesus Christ.
Yeah, we were staying in the hotel. And we all passed out in a hotel in Clifton Park, and I woke up in Albany. I don't know.
That's what it was.
I was saying. I mean, it could have happened. Maybe, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that was 100% me, and I just teleported. I have no idea how I made that drive.
Aliens, bro. Isn't that what happens with aliens? Did you guys hear about that skier?
They took my Jeep too somehow.
Did you hear about the skier that was on a mountain or something, and then he ended up in fucking Arizona still in his ski outfit?
Yeah, they found him like a week later. So it was.
No. I need to know. I don't know.
So it happened
from the beginning.
It happened in Whiteface. I was actually up there like the week it happened. Like this like whole thing happened that this guy went missing. They were like scouring the mountain looking for him, like all this stuff, like hundreds of thousands of man hours looking for this guy, all this stuff. So what happened? He was with a bunch of friends. And like they were all going to the bar, and he was like, "I'm gonna go take one more run," and he just never showed back up. So they reported him missing. Whatever. Week goes by. He calls his wife from like somebody's like borrowed cell phone. He's in California, still in his like ski boots. Like, yeah, like there's still like.
So he's in California, but where was he in California?
Like in a bar in like San Diego or like San Francisco. Like, so, like I don't know exactly where, but like legitimately.
It's hard because I can relate. Like it's a possibility that he just got banged up and like I'm in fucking California right now.
Yeah, that's weird. So that's the thing. Like apparently the dude's like a raging drunk. I want to say.
I don't think he had his wallet or anything though. I think his wallet was at the hotel or something.
There's a whole bunch.
Sometimes you get robbed, Clint.
Yeah. Well, there's a whole bunch of speculation. That guy was just like blowing truckers all the way across the country, like just doing speedballs and like, yeah. I mean, because like I said, he didn't have a cell phone. Like there was no way to actually track him. But like they were like, oh no, people recognize seeing a dude in ski boots like in Nebraska and stuff like that.
So was it like people were sitting at a bar in Cali and like he just like appeared out of the bathroom in like a ski attire, or was it?
I know, was
like all of a sudden he just comes out and it's like, oh shit, like
yeah. Well, no, apparently it was like partying with people, like hanging out at the bar, but like wasn't coherent at all, like just partying, just like that dude. You'd be like, all right, it's a little weird. He's wearing fucking a ski outfit in the middle of a city, like in an urban setting.
Okay, but, where did he go missing in the beginning?
Whiteface. In New
where?
York.
Where was he? Is he in
upstate New York?
I no, but where was he? Like, was he in his ski lodge? Was he on the slopes?
Oh, so he left his friends. He was skiing with friends. They all were going to the bar, and he said he was going to take one more run. So he went back up onto the mountain. But then, it's also speculated maybe he hit his head and like blacked out and like was literally wandering around for a week and ended up in California. But
I'm thinking the only thing possible is that maybe he did enough ketamine that he transported into California through a ketamine hole.
Maybe.
Yeah. Mike has this whole K-hole / like wormhole theory.
Yeah.
You know, it's in line with string theory, but a little,
Yeah.
Dude, there's pictures of him and everything.
It just depends.
I just looked it up. There's pictures of him. There's a picture of him.
There's a picture at a Fish concert in the ski outfit.
49-year-old firefighter from Toronto is pictured in Sacramento, California on February 13th, 2018, wearing the same clothes he wore while skiing at Whiteface when he went missing on February 7th.
Nah, dude, he had too much fun.
Yeah. New York and Sacro that's a fucking hike.
Yeah.
Even to get it accomplished in 6 days is a feat.
Is it?
I mean,
is it?
New York to Cali?
I don't fucking know. I think it's 3 days. I thought it was a 3-day drive. I don't fucking know.
That's fucking coast to coast.
I mean, it's coast to coast.
3-day drive.
I don't know. You could do
like in a fucking McLaren, like, going nonstop.
Yeah, wearing
like this, just like
wearing NASA diapers.
Yeah, that's legit. Like you're in like a Tesla, like doing 160, sleeping in the back. Like that's the only way that's happening.
Clint, how many days is it? I'm not that smart. I'm not going to use the R word anymore. I won't say what I think I am.
It's 44 hours.
A Republican?
4 hours, dude.
44.
Oh, I'm sorry. They said 4 hours. I'm just saying I'm fucking not that bright, but that doesn't seem like 4 hours. All right, 40 hours.
44-hour drive.
So figure you still gotta sleep as well.
My question is how many days? From point A to point B?
You'd still have to sleep.
6 days.
Yeah,
that's about how long it would take, right?
Right. They said the 7th to the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with no money, no phone.
Imagine? Jesus Christ, that's amazing too, because I don't put that past like 3 people that I know.
but also,
like 3 people that I know, like, well, I don't put that past anyone.
Yeah,
but also if you've ever been to Whiteface, it's not the easiest place to get out of. I mean, it was literally a town built.
Well, he's clearly a superhero.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, but it was a town built solely to host the Olympics. It's the only mountain on the East Coast that they can host the Olympics at.
Oh, like, it's one of those towns.
Yeah, driving in and out of it is like, it is death-defying, like, to get in and out of that town. Like, it is not, it's not a major trucking route or anything like that. It's not like, went from Albany to Sacramento. I'd say like, oh yeah, no big fucking deal. But like the trip from Albany to Whiteface, even though it's only an hour and 20 minutes, is like white knuckle driving on mountain passes. Like,
oh, okay.
Nah, that mountain is so fucking sketchy. I know, like, everyone's like, oh, we gotta go to Whiteface. I'm like, why? That thing was always like, first of all, it is so fucking steep. That mountain's like this, and it is a sheet of ice every single time we've ever gone.
Isn't that the whole East Coast?
The fascination with that fucking mountain.
Adrian blew out her ACL again this year.
Are you serious?
Second time, same mountain. Yeah.
Dude, the first time she got fucked. Her fucking leg like turned all the way around.
Yeah.
Like that mountain.
Yeah, last show I was telling you guys about my leg went up that way. That was crazy.
That mountain is so fucking sketchball. I used to hate going there. Besides the fact that we would get giant like fucking mansion log cabins. You know, that was the shit. Yo, remember when, you know, we're fucking hanging out in this huge log cabin. There's like fucking 15 of us there. We're having a blast, like starting to get drunk, you know, playing games, blah, blah, blah. All of a sudden there's like headlights that show up in the driveway. And it's like, who the fuck is this? You know, car pulls up. They're taking their time to get the, you know, walk up to the house, whatever. All of a sudden you see the doors open, you see people start walking towards the house. Okay. Not even like a knock at the door. The door just like opens and it's some fucking greaseball from like He's like, oh, what's going on in here? And we're like, who the fuck are you, man?
Oh, I was thinking
he's like, yeah, well, I rented this place. And I'm like, everyone's like, no, you didn't, because we all rented this place. He's like, oh, I think we got a problem here. And it's like, bro, we will fucking bury you in the woods back here. Like, what the Christ are you talking about right now? Oh my God! Had to get like the property manager on the phone. Jesus Christ!
Oh, that's fucking great. I wish you smacked the shit out of Henry. That was the best part.
Yeah, it was this guy showed up with like 5 high school kids. And he was like,
oh no, you guys should have smacked the shit out of him.
Yeah, and it was like he was like, oh, I know the owner. He said I can use the place whenever I want.
Of course. Yeah, I know a guy.
Yeah, he's like, fuck
oh no, it's fun. And the kids are walking in like putting their bags down and shit. It's like whoa.
Picking bedrooms. And it was like,
bedrooms. Like,
he's like, well, we'll just spend the night and we'll figure it out in the morning. It was like, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah.
This story's better than any story either one of you told all day. Hold on. Wait a minute. So you guys are having a party in the mountains.
Oh, like it was
and a fucking greaseball shows up with a bunch of high school kids.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Like 2 a.m.
Yeah, it was like fucking 2 o'clock in the morning. And bro,
okay, were the kids his kids? Were the kids his kids?
Maybe one of them. Like that's not all. Maybe one of them.
But all right, let's just pretend that none of them were his kids.
Yeah,
he's like a Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, that's also a huge possibility.
Yeah.
So it's like an Italian Jeffrey Epstein just shows up to your fucking ski apartment.
Yeah, basically. It was Jeffrey Epstein-Alini. Yeah. Oh, he was there now. And bro, like when I tell you that like typical fucking standoffish, legitimately like nah, don't worry about it.
Like, it's all good.
You know, but and it's like, nah, dude, like get the fuck out of here, bro. And the best is Brandon had the rental agreement, and you know he's like a little dude, man. He's like this big, but like I would never fuck with that kid. And he's just like putting the thing in his face, and he's like, "You see this?" He's like, this means get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. Nikki's sitting there just like, not another step forward. Yeah. He's like, where you're standing right now, that's as far as you go, pal.
That was, and if you look at like the lineup of people that were in the house at the time, it's just like, dude, you trust me, you don't want to do this.
Yeah,
right now.
You picked the wrong house.
Yeah, like, please just leave.
It was 2 seconds away from locking the door and being like, now you can't leave. Like you may have seen too much already.
Oh, 1,000%. I can't even imagine what was like out on the table. It's just like, because it wasn't even a thing like that. Like knock, knock, knock. Motherfucker just like walks in. It's like, what is going on right now?
At first, I thought it was gonna be like, you guys remember? What was it like John Candy with Summer Rental? I thought it was gonna be like that. Like the owner came in and was like, "Who the fuck's in my house right now?" I thought that's what you guys are gonna say.
No, definitely not.
But of course, Henry's fucking Italian hating motherfuckers. It's some greaseball out of nowhere. Some child molesting guinea comes in with a bunch of fucking 14-year-old girls.
This motherfucker with a vowel at the end of his name.
14-year-old boys.
And a couple bottles of Campari and says, "Get the fuck out of here."
It's like, don't worry about it. I brought Campari and Pellegrino.
Sticking a gabagool.
Yeah.
Like, do you fucking believe this? These fucking white nationalist motherfuckers talking shit about us fucking Italians.
First of all, you 1,000% know I was raised as Italian as you could ever be, and my mother's maiden name is Tarantino. So thank you very much. That's why, but
that's what a racist would say.
I'm an equal opportunity racist in the fact that I hate all of my own people so fucking much that it's frightening. But that's all.
And I graduated from Harrow Park, so I'm pretty much an honorary Itai. So
well, I don't know about either one of you, but I am American, motherfucker.
Bro, you literally like sweat fucking marinade. So I don't know what to tell you.
All right, I'm gonna give you a good wrong door story.
You gonna talk about your butthole right now?
No.
Is this a butthole story?
No. Well, kind of.
Clint,
kind
I love
of.
when you talk about your butthole. So
There's
funny.
there's a roundabout butthole feeling to it.
Let's hear it.
So we're in Mobile, Alabama, and we're doing a show there. And the first night, there's like so many dudes that look like Chuck down there at the bottom in this town for some reason.
Those are my people down there.
So I've been there a bunch, and it wasn't normally like this. So we're in the hotel, and then there's a U-Haul trailer in the parking lot. And the next day, we realize that they start to decorate it. And then we figure out that the gay parade was in town that week. That weekend that we were there. So they actually made a Wizard of Oz trailer, and they dressed up like Dorothy, the Tin Man, and the Lion.
Yes.
So this is only a side thing to this whole deal. So we're partying in the hotel, and my one friend is wasted, and he leaves my room and he goes to go back to his room, and then he shows back up at my room like fucking kind of, I don't know if he was crying or what, just super like, nobody will fucking help me in my room, my arm's bleeding, his arm's all cut open. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And he like didn't really tell me. So then I just grab an old hood I have, and I tie it around it, and I'm just like, washed it out for him, tied my hood around it. He steps out of my room it was a motel, so we're like, our doors are out to the balcony. He steps out of my room. I'm the last room on that on the corner of that floor. He steps out and goes right, and all of a sudden, like 10 cops rush around the corner to get him, and I just slam my door. And it's just like, fucking nobody even touches my door at all. I'm like, okay. So I find out that basically he left my room, went to go back to his room, went to the wrong door, pounds on the door. Now remember, we're at the Pride weekend or whatever. Pounds on this random door at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and somebody opens the curtain back next to
you ain't in Kansas anymore, bitch.
The window next to the door opens the window and looks out, and I don't know if he did it right off of the bat, but he basically waves a gun at my friend, and my friend goes, as a redneck from Alabama would do, "Fuck you, motherfucker, shoot me," and punches through the fucking window. And when he goes to pull his arm back, that's how his arm got cut. So it turns out it was a pastor in the hotel during Gay Pride weekend with his pistol.
Flashing a piece.
And he dressed as Dorothy. Dressed as Dorothy?
I don't know. That's I'm like
He's dressed as
Dorothy.
We'll never know how this guy ties into Gay Pride weekend, but I feel like it's more
he
than
was fucking
he just.
clicking his heels, motherfucker.
I feel like it's more than he just happened to book himself in this
honestly,
hotel.
Your boy, whoever that guy is, we gotta get on the show. The guy that I love. That's what I love about the Southern motherfuckers. Someone fucking pulled a Glock out and he a piece out, and he just fucking went and punched them.
He said no. He punched through the window. He literally.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
He goes.
He's like, bitch, you don't fucking show that shit at me. Bang.
So he goes.
Man, fucking Joel Osteen, fucking in Dorothy is fucking falling over, fucking clicking his fucking heels, clicking his fucking heels.
That's amazing. The cops come. He's like, I'm just in here in my ruby slippers banging Joel Osteen, and this crazy cracker comes punching through the window. I don't understand what's going on.
Dude, I just picture and when you're telling me that story, I picture Joel Osteen big smile with a little snub-nosed revolver, dressed as Dorothy, and just getting pounded in the face by some real fucking Southern motherfucker.
No, he was a little skinny punk with a mohawk.
Doesn't matter. They don't fuck
Oh
around.
my god, I love that. Like fucking like overalls on and like no shoes.
I mean, like, like not that night, but yeah.
At some point, that is a regular
For
rotation
sure.
in this work
Because
room.
those motherfuckers know guns, and they know like when is it cocked, is it pulled back? Like, bitch, you motherfuckers not even using that shit right.
He was also wasted. We had one time we did a monster truck show, and we used to always go through. We'd be bored during it. Like Friday, we're in the arena all day because we had to go in for drivers meeting and then practice, and then you'd go eat and come back, and it's basically autographs after. You're there all day. So we'd go through all the crush cars, all the cars that they were going to run over with the trucks, and sometimes you'd find like funny stuff in them or whatever. So my friend pops the trunk, and he finds a full ass bottle of Adderall, like the capsules, time release, and he's like, oh, it's like baby Coke. You know, so he's like chopping out lines like it's fucking like, you know what I mean? Not anything at all. And then I realize like at 6 a.m. it's time release. And so, well, actually that's when I was like, everybody needs to go to sleep. And then at about 9 a.m, I'm like, hey, none of y'all motherfuckers are sleeping either. We might as well just get up and go about our day. So we went about our day. I was actually like, hey, can you guys hear your heart through your pillows as well? Am I the only one? I don't think this is right. I didn't get a proper hard on for like 2 weeks after that whole deal.
You're not a real guinea. You ain't a real guinea then.
So like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm starting to get tired, and I was like, I think it's wearing off. I'm getting tired. And they go, well, what are you going to do? I said, we're going to chop out another one and keep this train rolling. I gotta ride at 7:30. So fucking that's what we did.
Oh man.
Is that that's the Montre Blanc story?
Is that that's our send off?
How old were we when we were there?
15. I think it was. Yeah, 15.
15. So can we dive into that one or?
Yeah, I mean the statute of limitations is over on that one.
Yeah, definitely, right? So 15 years old. We're taking this is like the Chuck's family's tradition with like other families in Florham Park with like ever since they were, like all these families and like all their like kids and like they bring them all to the mountain and everyone goes like these long ski trips and it's like this whole like tradition. And then when we're 14, 15 years old, now we're all fucking complete degenerates. And like I'm in the fold now because like I learned how to snowboard like 2 years earlier. So it's like, yeah, we're going to fucking Canada and get fucked. Like this is gonna be great. So Chuck's like, yeah, like, oh yeah, don't worry, I'll take care of it. You know what I mean? So we're up there and we're 15 and we're like, it's like this little fucking village, like the mountain is part of this village, and we're just like walking around, like it's like, let's go to the bar, this and that. Walk into the bar, the guy's like, what can I get you? Beers? Like, you got it. And they're just fucking round after round of beers. We're getting trashed to the fucking thing again. So the next day, it's like, man, I'm shot. Like I don't, like we got to go snowboarding. So I will pass the torch to Chuck on this one because I don't even know what it was.
No, I had a debilitating addiction to some drug. I have no idea what it was at 15. Yeah, I mean at the time we were calling it crank, but I don't think that's a real thing.
No, it's speed.
Yeah, but well, like I said, the person I was buying it from was not necessarily a reputable source, where I was essentially just ingesting massive amounts of yellow powder for like a month straight.
Like bright, like neon, like fucking sulfur yellow powder.
Yeah,
it's probably ephedrine, straight ephedrine.
And it's just like fucking whacking away.
But yeah, so we were actually up there. I mean, we were up there for this trip, but also while we're up there, I was in a competition. It was my first and last snowboard competition. And so during the practice round, I'm going big. I'm going to show these fuckers what's up. and take a completely different line than everybody else. But it was this weird setup where it was a park inside of a half pipe. So essentially 2 quarter pipes along the whole outside, and then a park in the middle. And then at the end was a huge gap jump that actually, the further left you went, the narrower the gap was. Further right, the gap widened. And so I took this line nobody else took. It was during a practice round. Felt great. Had an unbelievable run. And then right at the end, I was like, you know what? I got some good speed. I'm going to hit the far right side of this gap. Hit it. Fucking fly. Actually just pull up a method, like get locked into a method. Hold it the whole time. I'm just like, oh, done. I got this thing on lockdown. I'm going to destroy everybody in this contest. And then as soon as I come down to land, I knuckle right at the fucking top. It flexes my board, shoots me like 100 feet down the run, and I land right on my tailbone. And hear like 3,000 people in unison just like, oh, shattered my tailbone. So the only thing we could possibly do is self-medicate at this point because I don't know what to do. I'm in Canada, and there's no hospitals. So we get blackout drunk. That was the night I drank a bottle of whiskey and half a bottle of vodka, and was at 15, and proceeded to do all of this yellow powder that I brought with
the yellow powder,
and then the hot tub.
Yeah. Well, actually, before all that, I tried to go back into the contest. I was like, I got all this stuff in me. It was like, I'm good to go. I can't feel, I can't feel feelings, let alone pain. So let's do this. And like, just fell out of the starting gate. Like, proceeded to just slide down the whole run. Like, it was a mess. But yeah, then later on that night, I ended up in a hot tub, and decided it was a great idea to go to a hot tub by myself. And nobody knows. Nobody knows when I left. Nobody knows how long I was in there. All they know is that they found me floating in the bottom of it, not breathing.
What?
Yeah. So
I thought you were gonna say you were jerking Henry off in the hot tub.
Nah. I feel like that would have been. I feel like that would have been a better story.
That would have been no, not better story.
So who made out with you?
Floating in the bottom of a hot tub. It's horrible, dude.
Yeah. So I don't even know how they somehow they resuscitated me. I don't know. Somebody was a lifeguard.
Did you make out with them, Henry?
Yeah.
No. We dragged you the fuck out of the hot tub and smacked the shit out of you until you woke up.
Yeah. Threw me in a cold shower. Shocked my heart back. Yeah.
Wow, that's not good.
It's actually it's actually why I have the only tattoo that I have too. It's a maple leaf on my ankle to fucking for all those 7 guys that saved my life that trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a crazy one. Jesus Christ. And that was when we were 15. That was like the lead up to when we actually got out of control.
Yeah, exactly. Well, after that, I figured I was invincible. I was like, well, somebody's got a plan for me. I'm meant to make it.
Oh my God.
Well, anyone want to talk about anything else before we wrap it up? I mean, we are in a fucking pandemic, in quarantine. Fucking anybody got anything else?
I feel like you gotta at least rack. Chuck is a big fan of a conspiracy here or there. So I'd love to get some.
So I kind of want to.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Let me grab one more beer. Let's grab a beer. We can, we'll come right back.
We can talk one conspircy because I'm in for that.
Sure. I can talk conspiracies. Clint,
right.
Can you take your pants off for this one? I know you love this one.
I don't have any more beers.
So I'm not wearing pants at all. I thought that was a prerequisite to this.
That's good. Sorry that they left you guys here with me. Let's see what's on the interwebs. How rude is that, right? Everybody just leaves. They just skated on out of here. What the fuck is that? You slamming?
Why can't I take a piss?
No, I won't take a door or something?
Let's go. Keep going. I won't fuck it up. I won't fuck the flow.
Because we're already at
Huh?
We're already at an hour or something.
I know. We will we'll finish it right here. Let's see what these guys want to talk about. I'm almost conspiracied out. I'm like, At 1 minute, I think China's fucking coming at for us. The dollar's gonna crash. The economy's going. We're gonna be chipped. I don't know. Lizard people are running the world.
Yes.
So wait for Henry.
Yeah. Whose story was it? Henry's or Chris's?
Well, actually, there was something I wanted to pose.
Oh, that's right.
That I think it'll be a good indication of how important this time is in like the future history of how many alien sightings we see.
Well, that's always true.
Because I'm it's not my theory. I share the theory that aliens aren't from another world, that aliens are actually time travelers. They're us, much more advanced, million years in the future, that come back to check on different points in history. Yeah. And that we'll see an uptick in things that they're coming back to see, like what the fuck the corona time was.
Well, that's very true. That's very true, Chuck, because at the biggest events in the history, there's always been sightings, right?
Yep.
So when nuclear attacks have happened, sightings were up like crazy.
Yep.
When if you look at some of those Jesus paintings, there's always sightings. So anytime there's I don't know of any in 9/11, but a lot of big events, you see that. Me with aliens, I'm all over the place where they are. I do believe, honestly, what you said is honestly what I think alien is more than anything. Is more of a time traveler. I think they might be interdimensional time travelers more than just time travelers. But time traveling for sure. I'll wait for Henry to. There's something I wrote down that I'm happy you said this because it's something I want to talk about just in general. It's not just about doing drugs and fucking shit like that. But no. So yeah, I think the whole alien thing is for me is I'm all over the place with it. Sometimes I think that there are all types of races that walk amongst us that are all kinds of things. But I think when I really start narrowing it down and study this shit and really look at it, it seems to me more, like you said, of a time travel event or a interdimensional time travel event. And always one thing that's for sure that's like documented is whenever something giant's happening, and a pandemic is pretty giant. They happen every 100 years, let's say. I don't know. I have no fucking clue what this thing is. Is it man-made? I have no idea. I don't know. Is it man-made? I think anybody that's saying they absolutely know, they're completely crazy because we're just started it.
Yeah.
I mean, 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, you could say, yeah, it's a we'll figure it out. It's a bioweapon. It was from guys, from eating bats or who knows. But we have to imagine that it's a giant global event, right? I've been through a few big events and everyone's fucking staying in their homes or staying close to their house in the entire world. It's a giant event. Yeah. That's kind of cool, man. Like I almost want to look outside right now and look for sightings.
So I was gonna say maybe they got us inside because the aliens are coming. They don't want it.
Dude, I can't hear you with that mic. What'd you say?
That's not the mic. I'm right at my fucking mic. It's because somebody's banging shit around on their desk.
All right, so what'd you say? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said they forced everybody inside so that way we wouldn't see all the UFOs.
Well, really? Check it out. I think they're forcing us inside for something that they don't want us to see for sure at night. I think at night there's something is going on. Absolutely. Maybe it's UFOs. It's funny because I wrote this down earlier when one of you guys were talking early on. And I've been telling my kids, I think they're too young to get it. My wife gets it, is that I don't know about you guys, but outside in the world or nature or whatever, it looks like fucking HD these days. I think I'm seeing in HD. And obviously it's because of the pollution, right? Because there's not many cars. I mean, I live close to a highway, so there's not as many cars. You don't see any planes. So to me, and I have really shitty fucking vision, it's like I got brand new glasses every day when I go outside. So that's kind of cool. That's one benefit of this whole fucking thing. You were talking about silver linings earlier. Like it is like I see birds like they're fucking so vivid and bright.
Have you seen the canals in Venice?
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. So all this stuff is happening. So honestly, Clint, that's actually, I mean, I know you kind of live, I mean, we all kind of live out there. fuck it. I mean, it's not like I'm in the city where if I go outside right now, and it's going to be clear, we should look around. That's a good point, Chuck. We should look for sightings because this is the time. I saw some shit on fucking Facebook or YouTube that was so fake that showed like these giant motherships. It was so fake.
Maybe they really are looking out for us. The government, they're like, you don't want to get anally probed. And if you're out,
they don't know me too well, then.
Right?
Yeah, you don't get anally probed more than you already do.
It's anal probe season for the aliens, so you better just.
It's that cycle of the fucking 100 years, dude. This is when fucking you all get your butts probed. Stay the fucking side. That's good, Clint. You got a bit right there. But check it out. Check it out. Another conspiracy theory, I don't remember, but towards this point of the show is where I normally have too many Modelos and forget. I don't know if I brought this up, but a really depressing yet kind of happy, not happy at all, but more depressing conspiracy theory I did hear about staying inside is that in the next week or two, a giant fucking, we're into some belt where fucking asteroids are coming at us and they know.
Yeah.
I love it. That would be sad.
Yeah.
That would be sad, and there's nothing we could do about that.
I guess they'd want to get everyone to stay at home for something like that. Like,
it's kind of far fetched.
Yeah,
it's kind of far fetched, and that's the one conspiracy that I don't follow much of because it's like, hey, if that's gonna happen, that's just like, hey, there's nothing. Even though honestly, most of them I have no control over.
Right. But that one I want to know. I'd want to be partying twice as hard right now.
You would want to know that?
I'd want to fucking I wouldn't sleep until it happened. Yeah.
Definitely not. Just like, what's the point? Like, let's just get it.
And that's why they can't tell people because people go crazy. They be doing stupid shit.
Oh yeah, I'd like to the top.
I would definitely murder a bunch of you.
That's not good, and you might want to edit that out. Why would you ever say that?
I was kidding. Jesus, that's what I was saying.
Yeah, that's not good.
So is that it?
We're
gonna leave on Henry murdering people.
Henry, it's hard.
No, definitely not. You know me. I'm a pacifist.
I dabbled in pacifism. I love that line. I love that.
I myself dabbled in pacifism, not in Vietnam, of course.
I love that. I love that. I don't remember many lines in movies, but that hit home so well. Like that just fucking it hit me right here. Like I get that. But all right, guys, man. Once again, I love everyone on the screens. I love all the 3 listeners that are listening. And
we hope
we'll have a bigger audience soon, and we're gonna be on iTunes soon. So you're gonna catch us on iTunes soon. Are we?
Bruh, yeah.
Are we? If anyone's listening, rate us. Tell us how annoying we are. Please.
Absolutely. We would love some feedback.
Yeah, we have some big guests, but they won't come on until Clint shows his penis on camera.
Yeah.
Which camera? We're taken care of.
No, but seriously,
just
everyone,
any
I love
camera?
you guys. No Carnival parking. I don't know. What else, guys? Anything?
Thank you to Christopher Chuck Weck once again from Carton Brewing in the Atlantic Highlands. Why don't you give a plug and best beer in New Jersey? 100% agree.
Thank you.
Why don't you give a plug? You guys Instagram and what's the address and blah blah blah.
Just Carton Brewing, all the stuff. www. and all that. Hashtag, you name it. It's all Carton Brewing.
What's the next big release that everybody can count on? What's the next big one?
We're working on a collaboration. It's like it started out with like 40 breweries. Now it's up to like 100 or something crazy. Wow. It's essentially other half put it all together. Got all these people involved, and it's we're actually raising money for people in the hospitality industry that are out of work right now. So all the proceeds are going to that. It's called All Together.
Awesome.
And cool. Very
all
cool.
The breweries should start dropping it within the next week or two. And
awesome. That's great, man. That's great. And you know what? Carton is always for. Carton is one of those companies that is for the fucking state, for the people, for the servers, for the everyone. They're just that's what I love about you, and I love about your brand, and you guys are awesome, and that's awesome, and I can't wait to be a part of that. We got to buy that. Everyone should buy that beer.
Yeah. No, it's gonna come out. It's gonna be awesome too. I just tasted it off the tank today. I'm fucking psyched.
You're so lucky. Guy gets to try the best beer in the world.
God, I'm just gonna right off the bright, like
yeah,
bastard.
It's like Tony Montana. He takes it right off the brick.
So yeah, huge thank you again.
Man, thank you.
Carton Brewing, everybody support local guys doing local things, and drink local. And I'm sure they're going to be, they're still up and running. So everybody that's out there, make sure you support the big orange box.
Buy it when you see it. Come see us when we're allowed to again. It's
so can we go to the brewery and pick it up, or no? We're not. You guys aren't doing that.
Yeah, we're doing like curbside pickup out of the brewery, but we're not obviously we can't drink on site or anything.
No, but we can go if we want to try any of the Jersey peeps. We can take a ride out there and pick it up.
Oh yeah. We're
awesome.
We're doing home deliveries within 10 miles of the brewery too. But yeah, doors are open 7 days a week, 11 to 6. So yeah.
All right, great, man. I might do that this week. So yeah, we're gonna come out and pick up some carton for sure.
Nice.
That's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me, guys. This was awesome.
No problem.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
All right, everybody, we're signing off. Later.
Later.